Hi everyone, we're going to be doing a calendar comparison. This is going to be looking at Google versus Outlook. So the ISTE standards, we have the learner, the leader, and the collaborator. And then the 6 different features that we're going to be talking about: accessibility, sharing, display, scheduling, ownership, and participation, and then any extra features. So the first one is accessibility. I've broken these down into 3 categories. So on the left-hand side, accessibility within both of the Outlook and Google, and then middle is just Outlook features, and the right-hand side is just Google features. So within accessibility, both of these do offer free services. You can access both of them online and offline, and they also offer desktop and mobile devices. Just within Outlook, you can only access the calendar offline if you're using the desktop app, so not the calendar on the mobile device if you don't have access online. You can also share, or you can only share the calendar when you're connected to the internet with other people. And then with Google, you are accessible through any browser, so it makes it a little bit more flexible. And then you can work offline with a Google Chrome extension. And then the second category is sharing. So these are your sharing options. The only thing that these both have in common is that sharing is enabled on both of them. So within Outlook, you have 3 different sharing options. You can email your calendar. You can use the Microsoft Exchange server, and then you can also publish your calendar online. With Google, you have 4 different sharing options, and then you also have what are called sharing permissions. So if you do share your calendar with somebody, they will, you can give them full editing access, or you can allow them access to just view it or share it with other people as well. You can also publicize your calendar, and there's also a video call option. And then for display, you can modify or customize both of the layouts. Files can be attached to any events that you're creating, and then there's also a color coding feature on both. Within Outlook, there are actually 5 modes of viewing, so there's one more than Google. You can look at a day, a work week, a full week, a month, and a schedule. And then with Google, there's only 4 modes, so you can check out or have your layout display the day, the week, the month, or the agenda. So this is just an example of the display. So on the left-hand side, you have what's going to look like the Google Calendar. And then on the right-hand side, this is what is going to look like for the Outlook. So on the left-hand side here with Google, you can just see that you have a lot more options. And then the Outlook, there aren't quite as many options, but you do have the same basic displays. And then number 4 is scheduling. So both of them hold the same, or pretty much the same functions regarding scheduling. The platforms do differ in terminology with accessibility with other users. Within Outlook, you can add appointments via the notes option. You can invite others, but you have to wait for their availability. So it's not as easy to invite others and to see if they can be added as easily as within Google. You can also specify a place, but you can only set alerts 2 weeks in advance. And then with Google, you add appointments via the create an event icon. You can easily compare others' availability even with a non-Google account user. And then you can set alerts at any given point. So you can set alert for like a month in advance or even a year in advance. And you can overlap with other calendars. And this could be within Google and then with non-Google accounts as well. And this is what a general schedule will look like. So on the left-hand side, again, we have Google. You're just going to add the title, you add the event, and then it's either an all day or just a specific time. Like I said before, you can add people, invite people, you can add a conference, and then there's also the color feature. And over here on the right-hand side with the Outlook, it's very similar. You have similar features as well. Okay, number 5, ownership and participation. So both of them offer options for adjusting to changes in regards to ownership. So if you are creating an event and something happens where either you don't want to be the coordinator anymore, there are options that you can transfer that ownership. So with Outlook, you can remove the owner from the appointment, but in order to do that, you either have to delete or transfer the ownership. You must delete and then allow a new owner to create a new appointment. So it's definitely a lot more work in Outlook than it would be for Google. Through Google, though, like I said, it's a little bit easier process. And with those sharing permissions, you can transfer your ownership. It's a lot more simple. No changes need to be made to the actual appointment. So if the owner can no longer attend, they can delete it from their calendar, but luckily no other changes will be made to anybody else's event. And then finally, number 6 is the extra features. So both of them do offer bonus features. Through Outlook, you can add social media events, which is very cool. So you can add stuff through Facebook, Instagram. You can sync with Evernote. And then you can also add sports league schedules, TV shows, movie times, etc. through the app. And then with Google, you can do a goal function, which is really cool. So you can select an activity, you can figure out the frequency and the duration of it. And then that's going to sync your goal with your calendar and kind of give you reminders and make you, or try to encourage you to stay up to date with your goals. And then that goal can also be synced to Google Fit. And then some more extra features on the left-hand side, that's that Google Goal, and that's what that layout looks like. And then on the right-hand side, like I said, with syncing other calendars and other features, this one is a Bing calendar. And so you can sync the sports, TV, NBA schedules, etc. Okay, and then in this tutorial, we're going to go over 4 different scenarios. So first of all is how to access the calendar, the displays, adding events, and then the sharing capabilities. Okay, so first to access the calendar, you can go up here to the top right-hand side to access the waffle, and this can be done in any Google app, and you just go down here to click calendar, and it'll bring up your calendar for you. The other option is to go to Google Mail, and on the right-hand side, you'll see the calendar icon. So second, we have the display. You can go up again to the right-hand side to the wheel and click on the settings menu. You can go down here to density and color, and it'll bring up 2 different options. So you could do the color set, and then you could also do the information density. And then if you go back up to here to the settings, you can click on settings. On the left-hand side, you go to view options. And this will give you either whether you want to show the weekends, declined events. You could even pick how you want to start your work weeks on a Sunday or a Monday, custom views, or any alternate calendars as well. Okay, and then on our third one, you can add an event. So there are 2 different ways that you can do this as well. The first is to click this create button, and then you just click create, and then you can add your title, the focus time, whether you're out of office, the task, reminder, appointment schedule, etc. You can also go down here to more options, and it'll give you more options to give to your event. So you can change the color if you want, whether you're busy, default. You can also write a note. And then the other option is just to click on a specific day. So your day will kind of show up kind of in a grayish color. And then you can just start typing anywhere that you want to put in your event. And then the third one is the sharing capabilities. So when you go and set in a date or an event, let's say we're going to have a meeting, and then you can add your guests. You can also add these guests to a Google Meet or a Google Calendar for a conferencing option. But then if you go here to the right-hand side, when you type in your guests, you can make set the guest permissions. So you can allow them to modify event, invite other guests, or to see guest list as well. And then you're just going to click save. And then that will automatically, or if you click don't send, will either send those information emails to those guests or not.